And after 9 days of deliberations, a jury convicted Harvey Weinstein on rape and sexual assault charges. However, they found him not guilty on one charge and declared a mistrial for three others, including one charge related to Governor Newsom's wife. The 70-year-old faces a possible 24-year prison sentence on top of the 23-year sentence for his New York convictions. Variety's Elizabeth Wagmeister was inside the courtroom every day for his New York trial and every day for his LA trial as well. And she takes us inside the courtroom in terms of exactly what was going on. Elizabeth, good to see you. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Tony.
So what was it like when the verdicts were announced? Was Harvey there?
Harvey Weinstein was there. He was in the courtroom, and the first really emotion that I perceived was a bit of shock because, as you said, this was the morning of the 10th day of deliberation. We all walked in and all the reporters said, is it going to happen today? The jury is really taking their time. So nobody really expected it. And when it was called, things moved rather fast. Now, Harvey Weinstein, he didn't have a necessarily huge reaction. You know, there was no gasp, there was no state of shock, but you could tell that he looked a bit defeated. His head was in his hand and he looked upset. You know, you hear these guilty charges come through, and even though he was acquitted on one charge and then the jury was hung on three other charges, these are three major charges that he was convicted for, and he knows that that could be 2 more decades behind bars for him.
Well, and you know, and it's interesting because his defense team, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, was really sort of depending on not guilty verdicts here because he's appealing his verdicts in New York. And so the hope was that perhaps he would be able to get those verdicts thrown out, and if he was found not guilty on the verdicts here, he basically would be a free man. That is not going to happen.
That is absolutely right. And that's why the stakes were so high in this Los Angeles trial. You know, as you said, I've been covering the Harvey Weinstein story since the first allegations in 2017. And I've had a lot of people ask me, why does this trial matter? He's already in prison in New York. What's the point? Well, there's many points. You know, first, everybody deserves their day in court and deserves to seek justice. But you're absolutely correct, Tony, that when it comes to Harvey Weinstein's defense, this trial, you could argue, was actually more important than the New York trial, because if that appeal is successful in New York, they're saying he could walk free. Our client could be a free man. Now they know that that is not the case. Of course, we don't know. Are they going to say that they're going to appeal Los Angeles as well? But you can put 2 and 2 together. This obviously does not signal a good fate for Harvey Weinstein, 70 years old, in the midst of a 23-year sentence on the East Coast, now looking to serve a maximum sentence of 18 to 24 years here in Los Angeles, even with this mixed verdict.
Yeah, in all probability, he could end up spending the rest of his life behind bars. Let's talk about the 3 counts on which the jury deadlocked. What happens now? I would imagine the Los Angeles County District Attorney has the option of refiling those charges.
They do, and the DA released a statement last night saying that they have not determined yet what they're going to do. Now, if I had to predict, I don't believe that they will retry those charges. It's very expensive for the state to do this trial, but also I don't think that the women necessarily will want to testify again. It's grueling to get up there on the stand and tell their story and relive those allegations that they're saying in front of the jury and in front of this alleged perpetrator. But also, I think that a lot of these victims, they see this really with mixed emotions, but they do know that the big story here is this is ultimately a win because, as you said, Harvey Weinstein likely is going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. But I do have to say that the jury being deadlocked on those 3 counts and also acquitting him on another count, it does show that this was not a clean sweep. In some ways, you can argue that the defense actually had quite a few victories here, even though the jury was leaning towards a guilty conviction. If you look at the breakdown, Tony, on those 3 deadlock charges, they were leaning towards guilty. The far majority said he's guilty. But still, this is a convicted rapist and a high-profile individual who's essentially the face of the Me Too movement. And to not be convicted across the board in some ways really shows that, we're not sure where the future of the Me Too movement goes. And certainly we're not sure how the justice system views these cases of sexual abuse.
All right. Well, obviously now the jury will decide what Harvey Weinstein's punishment will be in this latest case. But Elizabeth Wagmeister, thank you so much. Appreciate the update, and we'll see you next time around.